XRP holders, Coinbase CEO just did the unthinkable. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, with a very interesting statement, kind of caught me a little bit off guard. And we'll talk about the most interesting thing you love it: jobs. Jobs, jobs, jobs. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button and let's get into it. Please read the disclaimer. So currently XRP is sitting at $1.41, up 1.39% on the day. Bitcoin is at 81,388, just above the support level here at 81,000, up almost 2% on the day. Ethereum also up 0.82% and Sol up 1.77. There have been some runners here, interesting, like Pengu up 12%, Lunk, Luna Classic up 12%. There have been some runners here. Interesting because last time Pengu ran, remember, that was a sign that things were coming. Like last year around this time, it actually started running as well. So could this be round two? You can see June of 2025 started running. So is this round two? We'll see. It will be very interesting to see what's going to happen with Pengu. We did start out the day with job reports. We've talked a lot about how job reports could be significant here over the next coming weeks because job reports could affect what the Fed does. Of course, inflation is much heavier in weight, but the job report can also be. So actually, job openings came in at 6.86 million, higher than expected. The expectations was 6.83. And so that means that there's more jobs than expected. Jobs are being created. So that, of course, was a good thing. And then we saw, of course, on that, the crypto market and the stock market open up in the green here today. You can see S&P 500 is up another 1%, creating new all-time highs. And of course, the NASDAQ up 1.46% today because you got some crazy movements. Intel up another 13.7%. Big movers, AMD up 5%. Some movers and shakers, although Palantir is down. They had earnings and there was a few things that people weren't 100% with. So it's down 6.5%, but you got others like Amazon up big today, up 0.5%. So that's why the market is up today. ARM up 4%. So chips are doing better. And this is interesting because with the NASDAQ hitting all-time highs, remember, they used to say that Bitcoin and the NASDAQ move together, right? Because Bitcoin is technology, NASDAQ is technology. So maybe that's why we're seeing this movement here with Bitcoin. Remember, we also talked about the option chain. We looked at the flow with Orlando, right? I told you he's the expert on option flows. And he saw that there was a potential movement there for Bitcoin because of the IBAT options, the call options that were getting heavier and heavier in a specific area. And we've actually seen Bitcoin have a stronger movement because of that, whereas other top 5 cryptos have been a little bit weaker. So again, this is another tool that we have in our tool belt to try to figure out what's going to move and what's not going to move. As always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. This was an interesting statement from Brad. There's another conference in Miami. There's so many conferences going on right now. I need to come next year. I'm going to come for 3 weeks, I think. Las Vegas, Miami, right? Is there any others? I don't know. But Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says, I've never been an XRP maxi. Tribalism is bad for our industry. It's not going to be a one-chain world. I want other chains to succeed. I want Bitcoin to be successful as well. Now, I know that many people in the crypto market are like, I'm only this, I'm only that, right? No, we can, go both ways. We can diversify. We can own multiple assets. That's part of investing. I'm a big believer in diversification. I own XRP. I own Bitcoin. I own others as well. Maybe one day I'll give you the rundown. But it will be very interesting to see what is going to happen going forward. Whenever the two tribes start bickering, I don't like it. There's enough room for everybody. There's enough money for everyone. And so some people will be very surprised with this statement. I understand where it's coming from. Brad is probably diversified as well, right? Think about it. He has a lot of his assets in Ripple and in XRP and Ripple shares. So of course he wants Ripple and XRP to do good, but he also doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket. He has to think about his retirement, his future, his kids, his family, right? So I understand if he's diversified. Okay. Now we've talked a lot about the yields, right? I know it's the sexiest topic, right? After jobs, yields, right? I know that gets your juices flowing. Jobs and then yields. But we've talked a lot about the U.S. Yields, and listen, 60% of you that watch the channel are from the U.S., but the fact is that 10% of you, or even 15% of you, are from the UK. And the UK 30-year government bond yield just surged also to 5.79, the highest level since 1998. Inflation is back and interest rates are surging, not just in the US, also in the UK. Now, I know it got your attention now to all the UK viewers. I've heard a lot of things to here and there. Of course, there's a lot of criticism on the US, but what's your take on what's happening in the UK right now? I know a lot of people are saying that London has changed for the worse in the past few years, but what is going on with the UK? I know there's a big difference between the north and the south of England, and of course we have Wales and Scotland and other places. UK in general, Northern Ireland, right? But England in specific, because YouTube doesn't tell me if you're UK or England or the others. So let me know, what do you think of the current situation in your country? And in general, if you're from a different country, you can let me know as well. I'm always interested to know because, of course, where I live has a lot of minuses, right? Higher cost of living, war, insecurity, for your personal and financially. But there's also a lot of other good things, community, belonging, and things like that you don't have in other places, and family. I've had thoughts about going somewhere else. Let me know in the comment section, where do you think is the best place to live? I'm interested. And so now let's talk about something that's, sometimes it has to be done. It's not the best, but sometimes we got to do it as CEOs. Coinbase CEO made a shocking statement here. He says, "This is an email I sent earlier today to employees at Coinbase team. Today, I've made that difficult decision to reduce the size of Coinbase by 14%. I want to, when I have a sneeze, God bless. 14%. I want to walk you through why we're doing this now, what it means for those affected, and how this positions us for the future. Why now? Two forces are converging at the same time. We need to be front footed to respond to both. First, the market. Coinbase is well capitalized, has diversified revenue stream, and is well positioned to weather any storm. Crypto is also on the verge of the next wave of adoption. Stablecoins, prediction markets, tokenizations, and more is taking off. However, our business is still volatile from quarter to quarter. While we've managed through that cyclically many times before and come out stronger on the other side, we're currently in the down market and need to adjust our cost structure now so that we emerge from the period leaner, faster, and more efficient for our next phase to growth." Okay, let me stop first on that. They kind of, created their own pill here, right? There's a saying, I can't think of it, right? They swallowed their own pill. I think that's the saying. Because think about it, they were waiting for the banana zone and it never came at the end of 2025. That was supposed to be their big quarter, right? And it didn't happen. And in January, we were looking like, okay, maybe we'll recover here. We'll get a little bit juices. And then they had the situation with the Clarity Act, and the market has been just a dud. The volumes are significantly low. The interest is significantly low. And this quarter is probably going to be one of their, slowest in the past few years, just because I'm seeing on other platforms. Okay. And it is what it is. So if the company is making less money, you gotta start cutting because you don't know what's gonna happen. So the second thing here is maybe more a factor, right, is the fact that the AI is changing how we work. Over the past year, he's watched engineers use AI to ship in days what used to take a team weeks. Non-technical teams are now shipping production code, and many of our workflows are being automated. The pace of what is possible with a small focused team has changed dramatically and accelerating every day. All of this has led us to an inflection point, not just for Coinbase, but for every company. The biggest risk now is not taking action. We are adjusting early and deliberately to rebuild Coinbase to lean, fast, and AI native. We need to return to the speed and focus a startup of founding with AI at our core. If we go and we look at what's happening just, for their stock, because it's interesting, it's down 3%. So the market really didn't like this too much. It's interesting to see, going further, what will potentially happen if the crypto market does recover a little bit. Will Coinbase stock price recover as well? We'll see. But it is what it is. The first part is more crypto related. The second part is every single company right now. And if you are not, digging into AI, you need to start learning AI. It's funny because people were afraid for a second that because of Claude and AI is like that create code, and even ChatGPT now and others do a pretty good job of writing code, that software engineers would be a thing of the past. But the opposite, the software engineers know what to do. They can create code fast, and they can upgrade it, and they can create more than they used to. So people said, oh, you need less engineers. No, you need the same amount of engineers, and they're going to triple, quadruple, 10x their output, and it's going to be amazing, right? So that's like different kind of thinking. There was a second there, like, oh, all the software companies are going to be obsolete, but maybe not. Okay, it could be, but we'll see what happens with that in the future. So it is what it is with Coinbase and with the crypto market. Just in, the SEC proposed allowing companies to report earnings twice a year. This could be interesting, and specifically for Ripple, if they do decide to IPO. The SEC today proposed a rule from amendments that would give public companies the option to filing semi-annual reports, and this is less job for the CFO, right? And it will be also interesting how it affects the stock market, because quarter to quarter the stocks fall on what's happening with the reports. So if the reports are only twice a year, maybe less interest in the stock market. I don't know. Maybe money flows to crypto. Could be. We'll see. It will be very interesting. So let me know in the comment section down below the things that I asked you. What do you think about Coinbase cutting costs there a little bit? And do you think in the future AI will take over software development, or do we still have some hope there for software development? Okay. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.